Hey everybody! Welcome to another episode of Who's That Anime with your host Stephen Colin. Back,
Hi.
back again, like the renegade master.
I was about to make the same joke, so I'm glad one of us did it.
Oh, you know I'll go there. um, we're talking about Pluto, an anime.
Yes.
Surprisingly enough.
A significantly better anime than Charge Man Ken.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't hard.
No, we could have watched Ghost Stories after Charge Man Ken, and I'd have been, oh, cool, this is better.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Quite a lot.
yeah.
So,
True story.
yeah. So, watching episode 2.
Yes. Episode 1, obviously we discussed that last week, and we saw the conclusion of that ending in the death of one of the major, the kind of most powerful robots in the world, known as North 2, who I believe was kind of, I guess, the butler to a famous musician, or a previously famous musician.
He was the butler.
He was the butler, yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked that story. And I was really excited to go and watch this next episode. And it did not disappoint. So
It's an episode.
it certainly is. It is another episode. It is slightly shorter than the first one. Not by much, mind you.
I feel like it's a bit more coherent.
Yeah, I think we discussed last week as well how the idea that this one had to be relatively incoherent at that point as well, because if you separated out the North 2 story into a separate episode, it didn't fill up the entire episode, and it probably didn't have the same emotional impact as it would being the second half of that first episode.
Yeah. There you go. Yep. It was a thing. I watched it an hour ago.
Well, you can take the lead then. I have watched it slightly longer ago.
Oh. I can't remember how it starts.
Well, in the last, so I believe this one starts off with the investigation of a murder scene.
Oh,
just
yeah.
Another murder.
Yeah. Another person with horns on his head hanging in the trees outside his house.
Some sort of scholar who had been involved in the robot laws, essentially. So yet another person who had insight or input and was pro robot, pro AI, or AI themselves, I guess, in Mont Blanc's case. But they're also dead now.
Yeah, he brought up, introduced a lot the robot laws.
Yes. And yeah, as you mentioned, they noticed the horns among the destroyed homes. And I think somebody mentions somebody kind of goes, oh, that's sort of like the things that happened in Switzerland and Germany.
Yeah, that was the lead detective on the case was like, oh yeah, that reminds me of another case, I think. But go investigate it, and he wanders off into a house which is completely destroyed, and
yes,
all these robot helpers. He doesn't seem to be very fond of robots, though. This detective.
No, he's. I wasn't sure if it was a dislike of robots or just a general grizzled, frustrated person type. But I think you're right. It does come across as really quite overtly negative towards robots.
Yeah. Because he goes, you're kind and stuff like that to the squad doing the investigation, and so they're doing the investigation. Then the other guys, oh, actually, we found the two cases. It's Mount Blanc and this other human, but they don't learn North too.
I can't remember his name, but he was the lawyer, right?
Yeah, he was a lawyer guy or something. Part of making the robotic.
He stood up for the robotic rights.
Mm-hmm. where the guys died this time has created the rights.
Yeah, I think it's at this point where do they not like somebody highlights that the person in charge of those investigations is the same person, and that's when Gesicht's name comes up
Yeah,
in conversation, and we sort of like jump to. I think at the end of the last episode, Gesicht had met Atom, who is
yeah,
another one of these super special
yeah,
things,
yeah,
and they're having a conversation in some sort of, I guess, like a diner.
yeah. This cafe or some sort. Aye.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. The detective says, "Oh, better go and speak to Interpol then, because it's like
a Europol,
Europol."
legally distinct.
Yeah, because it was. It happened in Switzerland and Germany, I think, was the
Yeah,
two cases that he's working on, and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, talk to the guys that are looking into this for that on them, and it's like, oh well, it's the same guy. Oh, okay, and then it jumps to the cafe, and they're
yeah,
talking to Atom,
yes. Who
who,
is Astro Boy, which is Atom is Astro Boy's original name.
well, is it Astro Boy, is it?
Well, that's the. I mean, obviously, because this is all based on Astro Boy.
Mm.
Atom is the character who is based directly on Astro Boy as a character,
Oh,
and Atom, I think, is the original name, or was going to be the original name for Astro Boy.
all right, okay, okay, because it doesn't look anything like what?
No, no. I guess, like I say, it's not so much like it's an influence of it's a young kid who is
Mhm.
who is an AI, who's a robot. I guess you could like, I mean, obviously, like the animation styles are very different, so you'd probably say like even if anything, like he's just a more realized version of Astro Boy, like what Astro Boy might look like if he was more human.
Yeah, I think so. Aye, not a couple of circles.
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
so aye, so he's speaking to him, and he's like got most advanced AI. It's like he, he they're talking to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I can work out what taste is, why people like this, and have that." And guess it's like, "Ooh,
yeah,
all right, I've just pretending here, but you seem to really enjoy this eating that ice cream." It's like, "Oh yeah, I do. I like ice cream."
yeah. He's because he's not like, because he says he's like, I don't know, like I can't say what it tastes like, but he's like, I understand the enjoyment. Like I see what people get from doing it, and I just try to emulate it.
Yeah,
And I thought that was really interesting, actually. Like I think there's stuff like that's really there's kind of a melancholy to that, whereas like things desperate to understand and feel what they can never truly understand or feel
yeah,
is really quite a kind of, because obviously like I mean, as they are right now, or as they are with Atom and Gesicht, is like taste is a human experience. Like
mm,
hunger and enjoyment of food is a human experience.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like all it is like an approximation and a guess from Atom's perspective. But yeah, I think like as a concept, it's quite interesting. They do also talk about like Atom's time in the 39th Central Asian War as well, and like
mm,
what his part in that was.
mm,
He was never like a an attacking presence in that war. He was a kind of like a peace envoy type thing.
peacekeeper. He was called.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And that was his role. He basically came in to like be like almost diplomatic level
Hmm.
of like trying to barter peace between the opposing forces.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, so I'm talking about that, and then Atom basically asks because he can see Casey's memory chip, so he can look at the
yes.
cases, and Casey's just like, "Hey, don't look at anything there that you're not meant to,"
Yeah.
and he's like,
I
"All
can't
right,
stop you, so
yeah, all right, you can stop him." He says no, but then okay, you are far
an
greater
advanced
AI
AI.
than
Yeah.
me, so he hands it over. He sticks it in his heart. And
Yeah, I actually there's some niceness to that because obviously like Gesicht is it's behind his ear, right?
I think
Is
so. Yeah,
the chip,
yeah,
and I thought that Atom's being in his heart was like it's a very I think that's an interesting choice like for that character.
yeah. But I don't think it's just him.
No,
Further down the line, we'll
no,
talk about the other one. Oof.
but I think it's more like the idea of like the it's almost like the thinking with your head versus the thinking with your heart, and thinking with your heart being again kind of a very human identification. Um,
Yeah,
I just I like the kind of parallels they're drawing with Atom and like his just pure desire to be more and more human, if possible.
yeah. That's, anyway, so he looks at the data and um takes it, makes a copy, and gives it back. And then they're walking out the cafe, and he mentions Gesicht's wife. Hey,
Yes.
your wife's something, eh? And he's like, why you? That's-
Yeah. Whoopsie.
yeah,
But he does. He then kind of says, you know, I think you'll be all right.
yeah,
Like, don't worry so much, which he appreciates. I
yeah.
think he seems to have needed that one way or the other. I think
Oh,
also like Atom kind of has a bit of an experience with Gesicht's memory as well, right? Like,
yeah, he sees himself to the toilet with a lie. It's like, oh yes, I need to go to the toilet. Oh well, I suppose it'd be strange if he didn't need to go to the toilet.
yeah,
It's like somehow rationalized that it
he's
wouldn't.
got him confused. Yeah,
Yeah. So he goes there and actually has a wee cry about something.
yeah, yeah. That's like, I think it's interesting because to me, that suggests the things that we see in fragments from Gesicht's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
He, as maybe a more advanced AI, has been able to interpret that information
Yeah.
accurately and like retrieve the reality of it for some reason. Obviously, like as a more advanced AI, maybe that was just possible. So he understands implicitly like what it is that he seems to have forgotten or is confused about.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Um. Ah. There's some motion there, and he leaves, and then they basically say, "Don't forget to keep in contact with me next time you hear.
Yep.
Come talk to me." Is that all right? I don't have to.
Come to Japan again, please.
Yeah. I don't have to do stuff. Okay. And then they split ways. At that point, is it did she go somewhere, or does it go to
I
the
think
Texas scene?
this is probably go to the crime scene again. I think, and
Yeah,
they do the like the 3D replica
in the
of
danger
the scene
zone, the danger room.
in the danger room. Yeah,
Yeah, in the danger room. Um, make a 3D representation, and then Alan
yep.
appears, and the detective's a bit gruntled with him being there. It's like, hey, this is no place for you. So yeah, I know. That's why I got this pass.
I got a pass that says I can be here.
Uh,
Don't hate the player.
yeah. Oh, this is one of your kinds doing type thing. Are you
Yeah,
sure? Because like there's some tea here, and then they go out
yeah.
and appreciate the flowers. Do you think that's a robot action? Did robots do that?
It was really interesting, like the whole kind of like walking through the crime scene and him sensing things under the in quotes rubble,
Yeah.
because there's no rubble there.
Oh, it's
But yeah, well, there's no. It was a 3D representation. It wasn't like the actual crime scene.
yeah, but
He
they
was
were
able to
walking on top of
detect
it.
the presence of stuff,
Yeah.
even though it was just a representation.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, I think as he says, is like, you know, because all those buildings are collapsed, and he's like, I don't think this is human. What human could do this much damage? And he's like, but the tea and the flowers,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
whoops.
And then they went to see the body, and they're like, "Oh, better not. I don't think you should see that." Sits with
He's
his
like, "Nah,
assistant, and
show me the body. Show me the body."
then the detective's like, "You remember he's not a kid, right? Just go and show it to him."
Yep. And it's like, yeah, okay. And they do. And he has like a bit of a trigger moment where he kind of remembers one of Gesicht's memories, where he was having the conversation with Brow.
Yeah, but
Um,
Pluto.
yes, about the horns,
Yeah,
saying that they were, they were a representation. They have a connection to the name Pluto.
yeah. So there's that, and then he walks around the front and sees there's ink on the hand, and then goes back
Yes.
in the house, sees a fallen ink pot and business cards, which relate back to his
His
prof-
father,
his
kind
fa-
of.
his father professor person. Yeah,
Yeah, Professor Ochanomisu.
yeah. Um.
It got said so many times in this episode, I eventually just learned it.
Well, names just don't come to me, man. Seriously.
I don't know, like not every name, like, but just for some reason this one, just stuck. So
Yeah. Oh, names just whoop hit my head. Um. So it's talking to him because they find this business card that says fact finding mission.
yes, there was a mission in, and I can't. Was it Persia?
Yeah, we're calling it
Persian
Persia.
Kingdom?
Yeah, where the
Uh,
the dictator there kind of looked like Saddam Hussein.
Yep, his name's Darius.
Darius, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of parallels to this and going to find weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of what this is. Is like it seems like there was a mission where a group of scientists went over to the Persian kingdom to see if I think they actually even used the phrase like robots of mass destruction.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
uh,
Oops.
so they went down there and found things. They went into a tomb essentially underneath a mosque. Found lots of bodies, but I think that's a thing discussed later. Uh
Yes.
um Yeah, and that's where he met the two other people who are dead.
Yes, and he hadn't seen them since then.
Yeah. And he basically, basically said, "Oh well, I think you might be one of the next targets," type thing. And he's
Because it's what is it? Is it Bora? Bora?
Bora, yeah.
Yes.
I think was his name.
That's the whatever, and that, like, that's the group, and yeah, they were members of that group,
Yeah.
and is it what the other one? I'm gonna have to look them up. 2 seconds.
Mhm.
It's Persia and Thracia.
Mm-hmm.
So Thracia, I guess, is like the United States.
Yeah, because it had President Alexander.
Yes, President Alexander of Thracia, and he was the one that accused the Persian group of harboring the robots of mass destruction in the first place. And then I think that they had said that they had confirmed there were no robots,
Yeah, he confirmed that they couldn't find any enemy.
but they had. This is where we find out about the name of a doctor, Dr. Goji,
Yeah.
who was like this. No one's ever seen him, but he was there doing some stuff with like dangerous robots.
Yeah, and he's a genius.
Yes, like way above and beyond everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so they were talking about that. And then I think it cuts back to it cuts to is it a flashback at this point where it's in the war?
it's a flashback to a scene in the 39th Central Asian War, and it's the dude asking Mont Blanc, it's like, hey, y'all good? And another guy's like, hey, I've killed so many things.
Yeah,
How many did you kill?
yeah. And Mount Blanc just doesn't answer the first guy's comment, and
No.
how many you kill, and I think he goes, how many you kill, and the guy talking to Mount Blanc, the original guy, goes, oh, I done this much, and he's like, oh, that's cool, I did 77 more than you.
Yep.
How about how many you kill, Mount Blanc? And Mount Blanc goes, lots, and he's like,
Yeah.
wow, and then he actually counts up the total, and it's like 3,000 odd or something.
Yeah. It's man. Like, there's a real already. Like, I think like the characterization stuff is really really good in this. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
like the kind of because obviously we'll get to know the one who was asking Mont Blanc if he was all right. His name is
Brando,
Brando. Yeah,
Brando,
and he yeah he. But it's this kind of it's just a really strong characterization again of like this whole idea of some people who are engaging with this war are doing it for sport or just like or it seems that way, you know, like that's the interpretation is like I'm just going to make a game of this,
Mm.
and there are others who just don't want to be there. They don't want to have to do this. Like
participate.
yeah,
Yeah,
like I mean we saw with North 2 where it was like this kind of quite somber thing of literally built to kill people. That's almost my entire thing,
mm-hmm.
but I never want to go back to do that again.
Yeah,
I want to be able to be something else.
yeah,
And there's an element of that to Mont Blanc as well, because obviously like because I think they like talk at some point about like what, you know, he always used to talk about nature and talk about different things, and obviously that was what he was very famous for as a robot in Switzerland, was, you know, standing up for nature and the way humans would treat the world and the planet. So
yeah, yeah. Well, so even the flashback scene, he basically goes, what's the point of we doing this again? And then
yes,
the guy is actually seemed to be enjoying it the most.
yeah.
He instates like I don't know, we're just in it.
I don't know why we're here doing this. We're just doing it.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
oh
I
boy.
he does make a point. Like I don't think he fully agrees with
No,
what he's doing.
no. I don't think any of them do. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, and that obviously become, you know, we'll go through this episode. That is a more of a running thing of like that was a bad period of time,
Yeah.
and they wish that it hadn't happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
So I think at this bit, because obviously now we've kind of introduced Brando as a character.
Yeah.
Is this the bit where Gesicht goes to talk to Brando
Yeah. I think
because he's one of the major robots?
yeah, there's some major robots, the strongest
Yeah.
robots. And that's Atom, Brando, and Hercules. And
Is the other one?
yeah. So yeah, so you find Brando. You come into a scene where it's basically like a weird sumo wrestling match with robots
Yeah,
on top of a big
yeah.
platform. Uh, where there's the I think Bronco is this robot's name? Is
I
it?
think you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it might be actually. Yeah,
Basically throws this other guy. He's won like 139 times or something.
easily destroys him.
Yeah, like unstoppable. Uh, and then he cut up to like the essentially the dressing room scene, and Grease meets them there,
Yep.
and they start talking like they know each other well. But
As you can assume, I guess they must know each other at least relatively well. It seems.
yeah, it seems like they've may have at least met and passed them a few times. And he was talking about how he wins because like, oh, you're all in the same like standardized suits. They're all the same strength, but somehow you're stronger. It's like, oh yeah, it's just luck. Most of it is luck.
Yeah.
And then he goes meets Brando's family. His 5 kids. And the hectic lifestyle there, and all having fun.
It's nice though. Like he's a human wife and human children, and they're all obsessed with him. You know, for it's like it's a nice story again of like this kind of escape thing of like when I left, you know, the war.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to. I wanted kids. I wanted a normal life. I wanted more.
Yeah.
And again, it's like this sort of the kind of quest for humanity that every single one of these robots seems to face is like just this desire to just exist as they wish, and apparently they all wish to be more human.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, except one. Anyway, because they have a meal and stuff, and you know they don't need to have the meal. Have a talk. It says, "I'm insufferable. I'll take him on. I want to avenge Mont Blanc. He was my friend," type thing. And then Grisha's like, "Right, well, don't do it alone, mate. You tell me if you get into trouble. You can't give me a call, please. Give me a call."
Yeah.
Even when they're
because they talk about like how, you know, Gesicht brings up what happened to North and as well, and like they're probably the same person that killed Mont Blanc, and yeah, as you say, tells him to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Gesicht, I think Brando says to Gesicht, he's like, you know, you should probably consider like having kids of your own. And Gesicht sort of has a bit of a breakdown and sees an old guy randomly for about 2 to 3 seconds and then stops seeing the old guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he just it's not.
It kind of like old guy and he just goes.
And
you're like,
hold his hand out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, great. This is not weird at all. So everything must be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you had that in the cafe as well. Between time, you had got like a wee ear.
Yeah.
It didn't see the vision, but he just like held his head like something happened in it.
That's right.
And he did it a couple of times last episode too.
Yeah. They also like he's like they talk about Brando's luck.
Oh yeah.
And then they head away.
Yeah.
Where Gesicht then goes to visit Hercules.
Yeah. The other guy.
Also a robot fighty man.
Yeah. But he doesn't believe in any human stuff because he's like, oh, you want to talk this over tea? It's like, stupid human thing. Not for me. And you see him in the ring and he's like in a cage match or something.
He has the pose.
Yeah. He jumped off like 5-story high cage like a ninja to do the pose on like.
Yes, he did.
It was a weird cage because it looked like a force field of some sort rather than anything physical. And he was able to stand on it.
Because this is where we find out, is it not, that Brando and Hercules are planning to fight?
Yeah, again.
Like in a big battle. After all this time, again, they're gonna fight.
Yeah,
it's gonna be amazing. Everyone's super excited for it.
Yeah.
I think that because does he not meet up with Hercules at the point where Hercules is standing next to a statue of Hercules?
Yes, which he hates.
He doesn't like it.
Yeah, it's like
he doesn't like it.
It's like, oh, there's a statue. I didn't want them to build that, but they gone and did it anyway. They ruined the ruins here, and it looks like they're in Athens. I assume is what the ruins are.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. And with a name like Hercules, that kind of like makes
sense.
Makes sense too, right?
Yeah.
I think the thing about this as well is that because it goes into the whole why people build statues, and it's like, oh, humans, they're so frail, they forget.
Yeah.
And and then it kind of goes on to like, he talks about how during the war he got like super into being a part of the war, but after he just has never been able to, like, he never destroys any of his opponents, he never kills any of them, he always like spares them.
Yeah.
And it's, I think, like, again, like I know you were saying, is like he's definitely not as enamored with the humanity of things, but I think he's displaying very much human behavior of like
Yeah.
that compassion and that just inability to deal with that sort of stuff anymore.
Yeah. So I just realized too, reminds me of now.
How?
Oh, Hercules. Just the character design. 'Cause he's like
Yeah, yeah.
a kind of sprawling old guy with like kind of sticky up hair in his design, and it's like the disgruntled guy, farmer dude from Wolf Child.
Oh, okay, okay.
Looks like that.
Fair, fair. I never even thought of that, but fair.
Yeah, it's like I sure have seen that character design in another anime somewhere, and it's like, oh, is that one? Yeah. So basically, it goes on. It's like, oh yeah, I started to show these kind of motions, um, and it's like, oh, what the? Surely human has a word for this, and it's like, oh, I think it's compassion. Compassion, huh? Oh, maybe we are evolving then, and he suggests that they're evolving as a race.
I love that concept of the idea of like the evolution of things that are not their creation.
Mm-hmm.
There's something really interesting to that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's
And
it's just yeah, that kind of as you said, like he's developed that compassion for people, or for other robots, I guess, as well, even to a degree.
he doesn't want to kill. He just wants to win fights. He's got the
Yeah.
competitive edge. And I think it kind of cuts back after that to Atom talking to the professor.
Does it not go back to the kids, to Brando first?
Oh,
Because Brando's supposed to take the kids to the zoo.
oh yeah. Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. There's a bit where it cuts back to the professor and and they're talking about this is the bit where the professor then admits that they found like there's one bit underneath the mosque that found all these corpses of robots, and
Yes.
Persia just essentially said, "Oh no, that's just like robots that we couldn't repair, so we just buried them under the mosque." Um, so all right,
It's also the bit where they're talking about Brow as well.
yeah,
Because he says that, Brow is the only robot who has ever murdered a human. And I think Atom asks him something like, he's like, so what, you obviously had to scan Brow and analyze him.
well,
What was wrong with his AI?
yeah, I thought that was in the car. The graveyard bit I thought was in his office still. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
we
either way, yeah, they talk about like, yeah, how he's like, well, what did you find about Brow's AI that caused the problem that allowed him to murder? And Ochanamisu says, well, actually, there was nothing wrong. His AI was perfect. It's
yeah.
like, oh, that is deeply, deeply disturbing.
And then Atom comes away with the statement of like, oh, he's became quite more human then. Yeah,
Yes.
which is probably the most disturbing bit of it.
But I think the other part to it is, as well, is the concerning part, I suppose, is that with no defect, I think, as Atom points out, is that means that it could go wrong again. Like whatever it was that happened might not have been an anomaly. And yeah, so I guess we'll see where that goes. But yeah, this is the bit with Brando now. Then I guess where he's having to tell the kids he's not taking them to the zoo today because he's got a work thing he needs to deal with.
He's not even told his wife about it.
He has not. She is not best pleased.
She's
I'm not going to lie to you. I was feeling where this was going. At this point, when he's like, "I will take you kids to the zoo the next time." It's like, man, don't you fucking dare!
Yeah,
don't you dare! This was North 2 saying, "I'll return soon, and then you can let me hear the song." It's like, don't do that. That's you. Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, 100%.
God damn it.
100%. It's. I kind of knew since the statement was made, like as Grease was leaving him, that he was going to do something stupid. Oh yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm Brando. I'm the lucky Brando.
Yeah, my luck, you know.
Yeah.
So he steals a cargo truck with his suit in it, and drives somewhere
To the Black Sea.
To the Black Sea, because is it that there has been a hint that is where that there's a tornado? Is that what the?
Because I don't know. Because he's always the whoever's killing these people are always coming as for tornado. Because when you had like the scene in Japan and the house ruined, it was like a tornado coming in.
Yes.
Because you got all like the news reports saying, well, that can be a human because it was a tornado.
Because it was a tornado.
And it was very localized to this one house. And everyone just said it was a lucky escape from.
I could have been wrong. I thought in this episode actually they identified that North 2 and that composer, that incident had happened in Scotland.
Yeah, they said it terrible.
I don't know how I missed that in the first episode.
I don't think...
Or if it was never mentioned.
I don't think it was mentioned. There's also a weird house in Scotland. And then I rewatched it because, well, it didn't sound like they said Scotland in the first instance of it. It was like, it was like, Scotland. And I was like, what the hell?
Where's that?
Where's that? Did they say Scotland? And then I listened to it again. I was like, I think that was Scotland. It sounded like Scotland.
Yeah, I kind of heard it and went, was it? Did that happen there? I guess it did.
Not a place in Scotland I know of. Anyway.
No, very true.
But then it's a fictional world. Because you've got Parza and Therza.
Yes.
Anyway. So, yeah, I don't know if there was an announcement of this thing. All I know is when he was telling the kids, he's looking out the window and there's storm clouds in the sky.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, oh.
Yep.
That's happening. And he tells the kids, we're going to the zoo. Oh, I can't take you today, but I'll take you next time. And then
again, they do a lot of emotional heavy lifting, like very quickly. It was the same with North 2, where I felt very understanding of that character in 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes time that it took.
Yeah.
And the same here, where it was like, you see that family life and you see everything he has and you're just like, man, don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
Aye. But he does. He goes and steals a truck with his suit.
He does.
The company's like, you can't be doing this, dude, because, if they find out, you'll get benched. And it's like, it's fine. But you got that match with Hercules coming up. Yeah, it's cool. I got this. I'm just doing it for training reasons. That's why.
Yeah.
Hangs up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's an obvious way.
It's a legitimate training reason.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, sure. Pulls up to a cliff. He goes, "This'll do." and gets set up, and he gets to see him how he gets into the suit. He gets his head taken off.
Yeah. And the head goes in the suit and the body stays behind.
Yeah, and then he gets his core injected into the suit too, which is his heart
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
And then
That's interesting.
kind of gets up on the cliff ledge next to this Black Sea, going, "Come on, let's do it!"
Oh.
And then the tornado comes in, and then
He engages with the enemy,
and
at the same time realizes this was maybe not the best choice he could have made. So he reaches out to Hercules and Gesicht and Atom.
Well, it's more Gesicht.
It's like a mind meld type thing.
Yeah, he also calls Gesicht, and Gesicht goes, "Hercules, you on the feed?" And Hercules tunes in because Gesicht goes, "Oh no!" And then Hercules goes, "What's up?" And like, get on this feed, and Hercules puts his feed on. And it's like, fuck. And
they get kind of a glimpse of whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. And
the eyes.
Yeah, the raging eyes in the storm, and then he calls Atom, who's in the car with the professor, and the professor's like, "What the hell's going on?" And
that's right.
Because he's all horrified with what's happened, and then Brando claims that he won the fight, but also didn't win the fight. He said, "Oh, I think he got me."
It is genuinely heartbreaking, this whole scene of like, he's like, "Hey, I got him good."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, I think he got me though. You're like, what do you mean? Because you never see him. I think it's actually really interesting the way this is all done.
Yeah.
You never actually see him at all. You see, I think, the connection with the water when he eventually hits the ocean.
He hits water.
And obviously Hercules and Gesicht are on their way trying to locate him. But yeah, it's just like the camera for him is just, it's underwater and there's just bubbles.
Yeah, it's like
floating
his eyes
up as he talks.
Yeah.
It's really, it's such a really interesting choice. And they're like, "Don't worry, like we're really close. Just hang in." He's like, "I'm gonna send you everything I've got."
Yeah.
And he, instead of sending over that, he sends them over memories of his kids, his wife.
Yeah. And then he goes, "Oh, my data's corrupted. I can't do it. Sorry, guys."
Yeah, he's like, I don't understand. What is this?" You're like, "Oh my god, so sad, so sad."
Yeah. It was but and then he's done, passed away.
Doesn't make it.
Yep. Which Hercules doesn't take well.
No, he does. Actually, I think that's more interesting than anything else. Actually, as part of this as well, is he does not take he kind of hides it under the bravado of, we're never going to get to have that fight.
Yeah,
so it's not actually about that, but that's what I'm going to say it's about, because I can talk about that.
yeah, and Brando's like, "Don't worry, dude, we're going to have that fight."
Yeah,
and I was like, all right. And then because Atom was in on this, he's like analyzes it. Don't you think there was like someone else on that call?
Yeah.
And then they kind of like showed you like the image of like, I think his Brando's family was kind of like, I think there's
like horns across it.
Was it horn?
Or like lightning strikes or something.
It was
like
just
that.
Yeah, it was like a lightning strike across it or something.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what it was I was supposed to be looking at.
I mean, I suppose that's maybe more valid than the next couple of episodes, but I thought it was like images of the faces in it were kind of like, had we
distorted.
distorted and skull kind of like image on him.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh, this is the image of death."
Yeah.
They had a memorial service for Brando. Thousands of fans there.
Yeah.
You also saw that Brando was with. This is like way back, but like it shows that Brando was at the memorial service for Mont Blanc.
Yes, that's right.
And then you get to see Hercules is basically funding search for the body.
They've never found the body.
Never found just bits of Brando's rig.
Yeah.
But never found anyone else. He said he got him. That's not right. He said he had him.
Yeah. He said he got part of him.
Yeah. And his promoter's like basically shouting him to go back to the ring because he needs to start doing fights, otherwise he's going to lose his top position. It's like, no. And then he's like, what's this all about? And the promoter also not fully understanding the connection between Brando and Hercules goes way further than just fights in the ring. So and then a couple of people that he's employed says, "Oh, we found something, but it's not in the water. It's on this island."
No, we found his arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It was like on an island, and it's barely an island. It's like literally a couple of rocks.
As long as it has a tree on it, it's an island. I think.
That's true.
I think that's the definition. So that's how how they do the Great Thousand Island Great Lake definition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think
Fair
so.
enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, they zoom off, and sure enough, they find Brando's arms stuck into this rock, sticking out like a pair of horns.
Mm-hmm.
And Brando's memory chips there too.
Yeah, and for a minute there, I thought Hercules' rage is going to like destroy the chip because he starts clenching his hand.
Yeah, he's really holding that hard. I was looking at that as like, oh no, don't do that. We need that, please.
Yeah. Don't smash it up. I think
the episode ends with him yelling Brando.
No, just like Rock from Soul Calibur or Soul Edge.
Yeah, I love it. That has one of the best intros. Soul Calibur, not Soul Calibur. Soul Edge,
Soul Blade.
Soul Blade. Yeah, I guess it's the same. It's the arcade version versus the home version, but yeah, the home version is where I always remember the theme tune from.
Yeah,
quality. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Proper quality.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the end of the episode.
It is. It's there.
Holy shit.
It's getting there.
Oh man. This is my jam.
Your jam. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting.
This is it's real good stuff. Characterizations are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The plot is really compelling and really interesting. The vocal performances are exceptional. The music is great. The animation is gorgeous. Like, it just all coalesces to be just a really fantastic thing.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Yeah. It is decent.
Yeah. What's your current consideration then? How you feeling on this one score wise?
Oh, it has stuff in it, and it's certainly moving things forward. And there's more like, oh, there's scary eyes, man, in a tornado. Like, really, like, looks like he had red eye from Cowboy Bebop's.
Yeah, the drug, the good old drug from the first episode.
Yeah, it's like, all right. And yeah, everything's fine. And I think that's solid. Yeah, an 8. Yeah, 8.
I'm still a 10.
You loving
I
it?
just I do. It's everything I want from an anime. Because it's the like I was saying, it ticks all the boxes for me in terms of like the pillars that are important. Like, and for me, like a narrative is really important. I'm actually not that worried about how it looks more often than not, as long as I can really engage with the characters and things. But the fact that I also really like how it looks, and I think some of the visual choices, like this stuff with Brando being underwater and things like that, some of the choices around that are really, really amazing.
Yeah,
It just really very, very clever. There's no like, and I think like Gesicht is such a, despite like being a robot, like quite very seriously, there's not a lot of humanity to his character. He's a very empathetic character. I
yeah,
feel very sorry for him. Like he's obviously struggling,
yeah,
and it's just not. It's never clear why. Like that's actually happening, and yeah, it's good stuff. It's real good stuff.
yeah. I'm sure comes out sooner or later. Why he's having issues? What's
Well,
happening with him?
it's going to be a wild ride.
Think so. Yeah.
It is going to be a wild ride. And in which case, we have reached the end of the episode, which means you've been listening to Who's That Anime podcast about anime. Our home is at anchor.fm/Who's That Anime. And you can download the show or listen to the show pretty much anywhere where good podcasts can be found. We hope that if you like this, then you can support us by leaving us a review. That's a really cool thing to do. If you've already given us a review or can't give us a review but want to support us, telling a friend is another way to do that. But there's also a new way to do that because now we have a Patreon. You can find the link to that in the show notes too. Kind of our mission statement is we never really want our podcast to have ads, and that's definitely a thing I don't think either of us ever really want to engage with.
Nope.
But if people want to support us and help like fund our Crunchyroll subscriptions, then that's awesome. That would be really amazing.
Yep.
And also you'll get early access to episodes for the main podcast and our new podcast, 5 Minute Fusion. You'll get a couple of week head start on episodes there too.
Yeah.
We also have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Who's That Anime. You can find all the latest episode releases there and occasionally some anime memes. We have a Discord channel. You can find the link to that in the show notes. We have a YouTube channel where Colin painstakingly puts together the video versions of these episodes. Also, you can now get the podcast feed there too through RSS. And hopefully, since this is in the past but will be released in the future, you'll hopefully be able to find the 5 Minute Fusion feed in there too. So yeah, that'll be cool. Colin and I occasionally like play video games. Colin at twitch.tv/couchfuel and myself at twitch.tv/hailpayman. And you can find archives to all of that in the YouTube. It's in YouTube, right? That's where the archives are.
Yep. YouTube has it. Yep.
Yep. You just need to search for @couchfuel for Colin and @hailpayman for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's us.
Yeah. I think so. That's
Cool.
it. Our episode done.
More Pluto to come.
More Pluto to come until it's not. Till it's the end.
Until there's not. And I'll be very sad when that day comes. But
What? How many episodes is it? 8?
8 episodes.
6 more episodes, man.
That's enough. That's enough.
That's enough. An hour
I'll get
long
enjoyment.
each.
I'll get the enjoyment I need in that time, I'm sure.
And then you got to find something else.
Yeah. Sad times.
Yeah.
Oh well.
What times?
Can you tell it's nighttime?
It might be nighttime. Might be quite late in the day.
Yeah. It is. Slightly.
It's not too bad.
We'll be back next time.
Yes, we'll be back next time. Same anime place, same anime place, same anime place, same anime place, same anime time.
Yes.
See you guys later.
So many places. Bye, folks.
Bye.